Southeast region guys.
Yes.
I'm going to have this one. Are they for real? Let me give you a couple names. UCLA, Michigan State. Which team is for real right now? I'm not sure.
I think they're both fake.
Yeah, it's like, somebody's got to win.
It's entirely reputation in UCLA's case, and it's entirely Tom Izzo in Michigan State's. That's the only argument for either of those teams.
Who are you taking in this one?
I took Michigan State.
I think I'd take UCLA. Michigan State has lost to Penn State twice. How good could they be?
Yeah, they really have not been good. It's a weird thing because I think they overscheduled early, not just the opponents, but the amount of traveling they had to do, and they never recovered from it. He is a phenomenal coach, but I think if you could inject him with truth serum, he would tell you, I screwed it. I screwed this team up this year.
Okay, one more comment on that. Phenomenal coach. He's had such good runs. Is this the time of year where Izzo shines? It's been other years.
Well, it certainly has been other years, and again, that's the only argument I can see for Michigan State. I don't think that's going to happen for them this year.
I just don't see them this year. I mean, just the karma around their team is just not right. You know, it just they haven't quite gotten it together all year, and I just don't see it happening now.
And yet, somebody's got to come out of that sub-bracket there.
I know.
That's not a real strong sub.
No, it is not.
Okay.
We talked before about Ohio State. The committee did them no favors. I think they did Pitt a couple favors. I think this is a relatively easy road to the Final Four. And who knows what's going to happen, but just looking at these teams, looking at this bracket, I think Pitt, of the number one seed, has the most reasonable path.
I don't trust Pitt. I never do at this time of year because they always seem to have a game where they can't score. Every year in the tournament,
that's a problem.
That usually doesn't help. It just seems like every year they have a game where they just can't figure it out offensively.
That's what it figures with this group that they would be that way.
They were better a couple of years ago. They had DeJuan Blair and Young, and
Think about what does that say about college basketball? Does that say it's a down year? Maybe. I mean, this team doesn't compare to that team talent-wise. And yet, this seems like one of the best teams in the country.
And yet, they almost people argue that they didn't deserve the number one seed, even Notre Dame in that mix.
Right.
And yet, I do agree. This is they have an easier road than some of these other teams to get there. Now, another matchup: St. John's, Gonzaga. Gonzaga is like the darling team every year. Are they for real? They're 11th seed. Are they better than St. John's? There's a lot of seniors this year.
I find that hard to believe. I mean, St. John's has had a key injury. You're going to have to help me out because I forget who the guy was they lost. But I like their team. Dwight Hardy is a tremendous point guard.
He's a really good guard.
And it seems like Lavin has got them going. I mean, Lavin, there's a lot of bluster there, obviously, but he must be a good coach because he's certainly got this team on the right path. I mean, it wouldn't be a stunner for me to see them come out of this region.
What a great hire that was, by the way. But the problem with St. John's is they don't play well on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, New York seems like the Garden seems like they're ace in the hole, and they ain't going to the Garden.
Ace in the hole. You know what Lavin's ace in the hole is? You know who's his consultant on the bench? Gene Cady.
That's right.
Right.
He brought back his old boss. Came out of retirement to help him out. And I think it's been a great hire.
Look at the hairdo contrast.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Tremendous stuff.
Hey, I'm not going to talk about hairdos. I mean, I don't have much of myself.
But I think that's the weakest region.
It really is.
I do too.
Kansas State, Utah State. I mean, you like Kansas State as a sleeper, but Utah State can do some noise too.
I think Utah State's a good sleeper too.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a veteran team, and so I don't know. I mean, Mike likes Pitt coming out of here. I like I just said, I don't trust Pitt completely. I mean, but at the same time, I can't think of a better team to come out of this region.
Well, you asked us before. Florida, they're actually that's a pretty high number 2 for them. I mean, are they for real?
I think they're a little overseeded. I think I saw some arguments on the internet that they're like the same team as Notre Dame, but with less hype. So, I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, they had 7 losses, and I don't think the SEC was phenomenal this year. But
no.
But I think they're a little overseeded. I mean, they're a solid team, sure.
I got Florida playing Pitt winning it. Do you guys all have Pitt coming out?
It's against my better judgment, but I'm going to take Pitt for lack of a better option.
Me too.
That's happening a lot this year, isn't it?
Lack of a better option. That should be maybe that's our headline. Lack of a better option.
That's the name of our show from now on.
So are we picking champion, or what are we doing here?
We didn't do that yet.
Well, I'm going to go with Pitt.
Overall, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
Ride
Pitt.
Lamar Patterson to the national championship.
Pitt over Texas in the final, and McCaskey's own Lamar Patterson getting the ring.
Cutting the nets down.
There you go.
If that's the case, she'll pay the bill, right?
Absolutely.
I'm going to take Kansas over Ohio State.
Kansas over
Okay,
Ohio
I'll
State.
buy that.
I'm taking Ohio State over Pitt.
There you have it, America.